Alright, today we are doing a much requested video, which is the shootout between one of the most popular lenses on the Sony systems, which is the 24-70 Sigma DG DN. DN stands for Dusty Nuts, according to some people, and the Tamron 28-75, the lightweight full-frame beast. And they're going to be both on the Sony a7S III in S-Cinetone with the same Freewell magnetic VND filter at 2:5 out here on this beautiful day on Disney Springs. And we're going to get some good shots and put these two to the test to see which one should you be purchasing. And for functionality here on this Tamron lens, there's really nothing special to it. It's a plastic build, no custom buttons, no hold switch, no nothing. It's just the zoom in, zoom out, and the focus, which is flipped from most lenses too, which is also weirdly weird. But it feels nice. The build quality, even though it's plastic, does seem like it can stand the weather conditions and all that stuff. It is weather sealed. And there have been people, like friends of mine, like Jake Sloan, that used it in Alaska in wet conditions and has no issues with it. I've never personally had any issues with it. It's lightly drizzling right now outside, and we're not really having any problems with this lens. It performs, well, very similar to a native Sony lens. Sony owns a portion of Tamron, so their autofocusing capabilities is just as good as the Sony lens. And as far as the Sigma goes, there's a number of switches on this thing. You have the AEL custom switch, you've got your manual focus on and off switch, and you also have the lock. And it is built like a tank, and it feels like it's built like a tank because this thing is massively heavy. But it does have the focus ring on the front and the zoom ring on the back, like normal Sony lenses. And the focusing distance, just like the Tamron, is really good. Sigma actually puts a warning on do not get too close to objects because people have been known to get too close and break the glass. So both cameras have a great minimum focusing distance where you can get all those like macro-ish shots. But the build quality is fantastic. Metal, you definitely aren't gonna be worried about the build quality of this, weather sealed, and it is a tank. I'm gonna say it again, this thing is heavy. And another thing to remember about this lens is that a lot of people have recently been complaining that there's been dust getting into and under the glass, and that's why there's a joke going around. It's called the DGDN Dusty Nuts. But that is one thing to consider with this lens. It's crazy that it's really good weather sealed, but there's dust getting underneath it. So I don't know, that's something to bring into consideration. And even though there has been reports of dust getting into these lenses, this is my friend's Kyle Watts. You should check out his channel. I will put a link up here in the description for him. But thank you so much for letting me use this lens today. But he hasn't had any issues with dust. There are a little bit of particles in here, but you can't tell and see them while you're filming. But he's had this lens for a good 3 to 4 months and had no issues yet. But we'll see. Time will tell, right? Also, when you take the lens off, there's a spot on there to have rear-mounted ND filters if that's something you're into and something you need. But other than that, I mean, this lens is a beast. It is freaking heavy. So a lot of the lenses, sometimes when you shake it, does the barrel fall or without the lock button enabled? This one doesn't even have a lock button enabled. It has no buttons or anything, but yeah, this thing's not, it's light, it's not going anywhere. Here is the Sigma, and we're gonna do that same exact lens test. When you shake it, this one definitely falls. I mean, no lock was enabled and it just fell right down. And sometimes when you just hold it down, the weight of the lens will just take it down. And if you guys are looking for a vlog style lens that check all your boxes, do all your focal ranges, you might consider this lens. So we're going to do a test at 24mm, or as the Tamron at 28, just handheld, to see what that looks like. All right, here we go. We are on the Sigma 24-70 right here. I'm just holding it out. This is at 24mm. So if you were just to hold this camera out with your hand, this is kind of what you could expect from this little setup here. It is a heavy little beast, I'm going to give you that much. So I don't know, I would much prefer to have it on a tripod because my arm is already getting tired just by holding this out here. But I do like the 24mm focal range that you can get out of this one compared to the Tamron, but you're gonna definitely pay for it in weight. But this is kind of what you can expect hand holding this setup. And just to quickly add to this, this is what it's gonna look like when you're in active mode on the A7S III. So if you are using a Sony camera with active stabilization, this is also what you can expect hand holding it and kind of walking around a little bit. So crops in on the image, but it should be a little bit more smooth for you. All right, this is the Tamron 28-75 at 28mm, hand holding this out with arm's length away. It's definitely a lot lighter when I compared the Sigma, but I still probably wouldn't want to hold this setup either way, handheld, but the lens is definitely significantly lighter. So this is what you could expect out of this lens at 28mm. You know, not necessarily thought of always as a vlog lens, but it doesn't look too bad, and you can definitely get away with this as a vlog lens. I've definitely done a video on this lens in the past and have said that before, and I still agree that you could use this on a pinch with a vlog setup. I still prefer, 16mm or 17mm from this other Tamron, but you can get away with it. And we're going to go ahead and jump into active stabilization now so you can get a hold of that. And now we got it in active mode, so it should be a little bit stabler, and we cropped in even a little bit more with that 28mm. So what do you guys think? Do you like this look? That's really up to you, but I really like this Tamron lens overall. So at the end of the day, when you are choosing between these two lenses, I think the biggest thing to consider is the image quality. The Sigma is a slightly bit sharper, so if image quality is your biggest concern, hands down the Sigma. But you got to remember that this lens is quite a bit lighter, so if portability is your thing, you're definitely going to want to go grab the Tamron. When I picked them up for the first time, I was like, holy cow, I can definitely tell the difference between these two lenses, and it made me happy that I end up choosing the Tamron because I like the portability. There's nothing fancy about this lens. It's a plastic build, no special custom buttons, but, you know, I like the fact that it's super lightweight and I can throw it in my camera bag. I can hold it for long periods of time. If you're vlogging with it, it's not gonna feel like super heavy and like weighing your arm down. I mean, over time, sure, but compared to the Sigma lens, it is way, way, way lighter. And then you gotta consider the price point of these two lenses. If you go with a Sigma, you're spending $1,100, where this Tamron you can pick up for $879, and if you can search the internet a little bit, you probably might even be able to find it on a deal for $800 or less. And with that price difference, you can easily pick up like a Peter McKinnon variable ND filter, or even the Freewell double pack of the 2-5 and 6-9 stop, and still have a little bit of money left over. Maybe pick up a vlogging tripod handle like the Switch Pod that I've been using. Whatever you need. Those price differences make a big deal, especially when it's your first lens and you're just getting a brand new camera and you're trying to decide what you're going to spend your money on. So image quality wise, they're very close. Sigma's a little bit better, and that 24mm, man, that's a hard choice to choose between, because I really love the 24mm focal length. However, with this Tamron, if you pick up like the 17-28 or maybe even the 24mm 1.4 G Master Prime from Sony, you're going to be in a very nice spot, and you're still going to be able to have that light lens when you need it for portability. So those are just a few of your options and things to consider with these two lenses. They're both great options at the end of the day, but you got to choose your pros and cons for the setup. If you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe for more videos, and you guys know that I will see you in the future.